Like if we for transportation.
Yeah. She did a great job.
Would love to have transportation.
It's red.
Thank you so much. Happy New Year, everybody. Glad to
Same
have
to
you with
you.
us. Yeah, gonna be a good year. Had a good year, gonna have another good year. So this is the Fallbrook Regional Health District Board meeting of January 14th, 2026, and we're convening at 6 p.m. And we will start with the establishment of a quorum, please.
Yes, we have.
Thank you. And now we will go directly to the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Thank you. A second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Very good. Public comments. Who wants to talk to us tonight? AI.
Well, we have you on the agenda.
You're next, Jackie.
You get a special place on the agenda.
Wow, no pressure.
Hang in there. Hang in there.
But we don't have anyone else on Zoom and we didn't receive anything via email.
Thank you very much. And scrolling down on the agenda. Thank you very much. And there we are. I'm going to turn this over to Rachel to help us understand the goodnesses that we're going to have tonight.
Sure. So Jackie's here with the Children's Museum of Discovery to just give us a real quick kind of overview. Obviously, this is one of our grant recipients. So Jackie wanted to come and talk to the board, and Raquel twisted her arm and said, "How would you like to give a presentation?"
Excellent. I'm giving a presentation.
No, you're.
I mean, it's not like a presentation. It's just, it goes with that. So if you'd like, you can stand and present, or if that's going to freak you out, stand.
Oh, no, I really
Or pull a chair forward or
I
stand
will
up.
come sit here, or I can stand since I see new
Great.
faces. Hi, everybody. My name is
Welcome.
Jackie Arditi, and I am the advancement manager at the Children's Museum of Discovery. Some of you may recognize us. Well, we just recently changed our name. We used to be the San Diego Children's Discovery Museum. And this past year, we celebrated our 25th anniversary. And while we were at it, we decided also to undergo a rebrand. So now we are known throughout, hopefully, San Diego County as the Children's Museum of Discovery. The letters are all scrambled. And I'm very grateful to be here and representing the museum. We are, as Rachel said, one of the grant recipients from last year. And I actually have notes because I don't remember. There's too many numbers in my head.
We like notes.
Great. So thanks to your generosity, we were able to serve every TK and kindergarten student in Fallbrook Union Elementary Schools this year. The TK kiddos did our mobile exhibits program, and the kinder kiddos did the creature feature STEM workshop. So if you guys want some numbers, we saw 819 students and 80 adults, which was just shy of our goal. But I think the funding was also just slightly shy of what we had requested. But we were able to see so many kiddos. And unfortunately, we're not able to take, due to privacy, we're not able to take photographs or anything. So I can't share like an actual presentation. But I do have a quote from one of your lovely teachers. And they mentioned that the 2 museum educators that taught our group were so dynamic, concise, and so informative. They held the attention of a class of 5-year-olds really well. That's music to our ears when we hear that from our to hear about our education staff, but hopefully it also brings a smile to your face to know that all these kids are super engaged. They're excited every time that they see our van, which was also rebranded, and it looks like that, kind of like that. Rolling through town, they get excited to see our educators and our team, and they love what we bring to them. So thank you for making that happen. And yeah.
Where is the museum?
The museum's in Escondido, which is part of why we rebranded, because with the name San Diego, people were often confused. And because there is the new Children's Museum in downtown San Diego, people confuse the two museums all the time. And while we're not affiliated and we do work in part, I mean, we do similar things, but we're not affiliated. So we decided to step away from the San Diego part of this.
Thank you.
But yeah, we're close-ish. I got lost again on my way.
Close-ish is close,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, every time I was just on the phone with my dad on my drive here, and I was like, I do the same thing where I miss Brandon Street every time, but when I only come up here once a year to visit you guys, what can I expect?
So Jackie, we know that science literacy begins at the moment a baby can observe because they're taking in data and making sense of it. So when you talk about a TK TK to 2, second grade
TK to kinder.
and kinder.
So real little.
Yeah, the 5-year-olds. And that it's STEM oriented, science, technology, engineering, and math. Could you just describe one experience they might have?
Yes, so that's a great question. At the museum, we say stream because the R is reading and the A is art. And reading and art are the best way for these very, very young kids to start to gain those more difficult concepts and those fluencies in those difficult concepts. So I haven't had the privilege of seeing any of like the creature features workshop, but I do know that they talk about things like their habitat. They talk about they'll present certain animals, certain creatures, of course. Sometimes they're bugs, sometimes they're flying creatures, whatever they may be in that particular curriculum. But they talk also about what makes them their adaptability. So obviously that's a word that's way too big for a kid to understand, but they bring it down to the level of a 5-year-old, and they say like, well, when you go to the beach, what makes you able to get in the, what makes it easier for you to get in the water? Do you wear flippers? Do you have a bathing suit? Do you have goggles or a snorkel? So, and they look for those similar traits in the creatures that they're learning about. But we do a lot of the work that we do on site and off site has to do, like the entry point is art. So we do a lot of hands-on crafts and story times that tie with those crafts, and that's how kids start to learn about all the rest of those bigger. They're not programming, they're not doing robotics when they're 5.
Great. And I also noticed in the grant that it's the lessons here are aligned with the framework for science education in the K-12 zone. So we appreciate that because then the kids get reinforced in concepts. I'm sorry, Howard.
That's all right. Are there fees for the kids?
When they come to the museum or?
Anytime.
Yes. So we are a nonprofit, but obviously we need to pay for our building and we need to pay for our staff.
Right.
And so there is an admission fee to come to the museum. So anybody over 1 pays the general admission fee of $14. And we do offer discounts for military. We also offer, SNAP benefits are gone right now, I think, but anybody that has CalFresh, WIC, EBT benefits can also access the museum, come into the museum for $2. So we have an overarching program throughout called Access for All, and many museums participate in a program like that. And so with proof of eligibility to those programs, we are able to scholarship the rest of their admission fee. And then same for any of our mobile programming, anytime that we go out, our team, the fundraising team, works very, very hard to get as many dollars so that we can scholarship as much of the outreach that we do into the community.
Thank you.
And that's, our grant is one of those outreaches.
Correct.
Other questions from the board? I mean, I've been to the new Children's Museum. It's wonderful. So we will be there.
Thank you. And I know that we just love coming to your community. Everybody's always just so happy, and well, our educators, I never really get to come on any of them.
Well, this is exactly, get the money going.
I'm the banker, I'm not the educator.
This is no way near as fun as doing creature features with kids. There's no way, I'm sorry. I want to go do creature.
We are featured creatures right here.
Maybe next time what I'll do is bring some sort of activation.
Yeah.
Put you guys to work.
Well, the other piece of the magic for this grant is that we live just far enough away that a lot of families would never get to that museum. So bringing it here and having had 800 kids experience it this year, this is a real win for Fallbrook. And I love it that you had a teacher validation. Teachers know teaching.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and not just any family. I mean, sometimes, parents are able to take their kids or maybe not. But as all of you, I'm sure, are aware, it's so difficult for schools to be able to bring kids on field trips.
Right.
Just the cost of the education and the transportation and getting chaperones and all of that is just so costly for them that they miss out on these opportunities. But because we are able to bring our mobile units out to you.
Beautiful.
So thank you.
Well, Jackie, thank you. We are scintillating creature features and you're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting. But if you would like to scoot, that would be fine.
Okay, well, thank you for having me. I'm sorry I wasn't
Thank
more
you.
prepared with a more dynamic.
No,
presentation.
we set you up by saying presentation.
It's like, I thank you. Somewhere in my, in my computer, in my drive, probably a PowerPoint, but I won't bore you with it.
I think we'll put it on a board agenda to have
There
a
you go.
creature feature presentation.
Yeah.
And then I'll send an educator because that's not necessary, but I'll come with them. So
There you go.
Thank you all so much. I wish you all. No, thank you.
Safe trip
And
home.
I'm sure we'll be in touch for.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jackie.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thanks so much. Well, that's a kick in the pants to get the new year started. You good at 800 kids were able to enjoy that grant. And thank you for the validation from a parent perspective. Appreciate that too. I think I spied on the next agenda item is our Brown Act in service. Is that what we're tackling?
Well, it's not really an in-service, but
Update.
yeah, there's a lot to it. That's you. There's a
I
lot.
will say, I went to they had a session on the Brown Act update at the conference in Monterey. And I did sit and listen religiously, only to hear things like, it's really only gonna apply to this kind of organization. So then I'd go erase. And then I'd listen intently and go, okay, I gotta watch out, erase. So I know that there's a differentiation, which is kind of unusual among and between organizations and how Brown Act plays out. So we're ready for your scintillating comments, sir.
That is the word of the day.
Well, so after every legislative session, our firm provides an update to the clients on, things of interest. Staff gets their own updates, staff gets memos. So I think I've bombarded Raquel. With some of the new legislation memos. And I try to provide an update to the board. The first update, this will probably be one of two. There'll probably be another update that's gonna be, the Brown Act is a pretty big one. It needed its own. There'll probably be another update that's like Fallbrook specific. Laws that only apply to this, laws that apply to this special district. I'll say like that. Because a lot.
We're so special, we have our own.
Yeah, no, because like 90% of the laws that are passed that apply to public agencies don't apply to you guys. Given either your size or the fact that you're a special district or the fact that you don't do planning, So having said that, I'll start by, even before I start with this first slide, let me say that there are two pieces of legislation that are relevant to this board. The first one is this SB 707, and the second one is a new training mandate imposed on all public agencies. So you guys are aware that you guys have the sexual harassment prevention training. You're aware that you have the ethics training. Ethics training covers Brown Act, Conflicts of Interest, and Public Records Act. You have a new one now,
Oh, baby.
a new 2-hour training on fiscal and finance. It's called fiscal and financial training.
Oh,
Because the state realized that a lot of boards are voting on big ticket money items and they don't understand how to read spreadsheets. They don't understand the purpose of reserves. Not all of them have good staff. So if no one's looking over that stuff, you have issues. Anyway, that's coming in the future. So I'll update you on that at some other future time. But now going over to SB 707. This is the biggest amendment to the Brown Act since I've been practicing law. The purpose is to modernize the Brown Act to reflect recent technological changes that can promote greater public access to local officials. Like you pointed out, Chair, there are things that apply, there are things that don't apply. This first part that I'm going to go over applies to you guys. So you can turn your brain on for this. No, don't delete anything I say for this first part.
I'd never delete anything you say, believe me.
All right, next slide. Okay, teleconferencing. Since 1988, we've had the traditional method. I don't know how often this board uses teleconferencing. In fact, I've never even seen any of you teleconference in. You guys are always here. But if you did want to use the traditional teleconference method, super simple. All you do is you let Rachel or Raquel know. And then what they're going to do is they're going to say, this board member is going to teleconference. Here is her location. And you have to make that location open to the public, wherever you're going to take that meeting from. And that's it. And you can teleconference in. That's always been in place. I'll talk about what some of those limitations are with traditional teleconferencing in a bit. But then, during COVID, that became infeasible. Why? Because if you're going to do traditional teleconferencing, you have to make your place available to others. No one wants to have meetings with other people during COVID. You don't want to be together with others, especially since there was a lockdown in place and people were in their homes and they didn't want to put their home address on the agenda and then make their homes available to members of the public. So the state's like, so what the governor did is the governor suspended that portion of the Brown Act, and then the legislator came and adopted this new standard. So I call it the state emergency, right, in 2021. Under that state of emergency exception, if the state of California declares a state of emergency and we locally determine, yes, that emergency prevents us from meeting together, we can meet fully remote, the whole body. When does that come into play today? Obviously, we can't do it because of COVID, because COVID's over. There's no emergency for COVID right now. So what can we use it for? Fires.
floods.
Yeah, floods, fires. If God forbid, you're a little mountain town here caught on fire and you guys needed to conduct business and you couldn't, you could all, there'd be a declaration of emergency and then you could all meet remotely. Just cause and emergency circumstances were added in 2023 because the legislator said, hey, people really like this remote meeting thing. Let's make it happen. And the difference between just cause and emergency circumstances versus the traditional method is that under just cause and emergency circumstances, you do not have to put your location. You don't have to put your location. You don't have to make it available to the public. But the state said, now that we have all this new technology, the trade-off is you got to open it up to the public via Zoom or whatever Skype. Well, we don't have Skype anymore. Whatever method you're using.
So is it just cause or is it just cause?
No. These have definitions on it. I see your joke.
Yeah, that's very good.
Neighborhood councils we don't really have here, and student body associations we don't have, so I'll skip this.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Would it be accurate to say these universally apply to any Brown Act body, all of these?
One through
One through
four,
four.
because you don't really have 5 and
Right.
5 is for really big cities like LA that
So
have
our
neighborhoods.
fire district, our planning
Yeah,
group,
uh-huh.
our, okay,
All 4. First 4.
Okay.
Yeah, excellent. So traditional method, we already talked about the requirements. Interestingly, no limit. Any board member can do remote meetings, but your friends will hate you because the remote meeting rule for traditional teleconferencing says at least the quorum have to be physically present. So imagine you have one board member that's always absent, forcing the rest of them to make up quorum. Because the absent member doesn't count toward quorum. You can participate, but you don't count toward quorum. And so you're gonna force the other 4 to make sure they're here, at least 3 of them, to get quorum. Yeah, we discussed the rest. By the way, when you teleconference, always, doesn't matter what method you use, always you have to use roll call vote. So you can't do voice votes, not all in favor, it's director, 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 director. Which we can already do, right?
We did for the long time because we just got so in the habit after COVID
Yeah.
that after you reminded us, we're like, oh, right, I forgot, we don't have to do that anymore.
Okay, keep going. This is brand new. This is a brand new thing that came about because of a attorney general opinion, actually. So the question is, what if someone has some kind of ADA disability, right? Well, what are you going to do then? This person needs to be remote for whatever reason. They can't physically get to the building. Under this new rule, that member can be remote. They do count toward quorum, so you treat them like they're physically present, right? Because they don't have any other means of getting here because they have a disability. And some of these other rules, like the two-way audio visual, that's just what you guys already use. You guys use Zoom, right? Here?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's two-way audio visual is Zoom. The interesting thing also about this one is it's not necessarily afforded to the public. So you remember how I said if it's an emergency circumstance or it's a just cause, you have to then, if you're going to use it as a board member, your district has to offer it to the public. But for a reasonable accommodation, it's not like that. You don't have to offer it to the public.
So we could have a board member on Zoom, but not make it open to anybody else.
Correct.
And obviously, they don't have to put their address and allow people to come to their house.
Correct. Right.
Okay?
Yeah, so this is a brand new one. Yeah, next slide. And I kind of like what the legislator did here because they said, here's the traditional exception. Here's a little carve out for ADA stuff. And they said, and here are all the other potential exceptions that apply. And they listed them all out kind of nicely in the statute. Health authority, I'm not going to talk about because oddly enough, you guys are not a health authority for purposes of the Brown Act.
Okay.
State of emergency, we already talked about, that's not any different. Well, there is one little difference there, I'll get into it. Just cause, emergency circumstance and just cause used to be two separate things. Legislator has merged them. I'll get into that. Neighborhood council, forget about that one. Community college, forget about it. Eligible subsidiary body, kind of interesting, but not really relevant to you guys, just forget about it. And multi-jurisdictional body. Help me. You serve on multi-jurisdictional bodies here, correct? Are you guys like liaisons or voting members of, I mean, putting aside LAFCO. LAFCO-like bodies. Are you guys involved in any other multi-jurisdictional bodies?
Only
Council of Governments or anything like that?
association for like CSDA, ACHD.
But those aren't elected bodies.
Those, they're not elected.
But are they subject to the Brown Act? They're not.
No.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess this more applies to cities and counties, but for multi-jurisdictional bodies where you have a bunch of Brown Act agencies coming together to form a multi-jurisdictional body, but they're like spread out all across the state or the county,
Problem.
now you can have remote meetings.
What about Sandag? If
So,
we had somebody
If
sitting
we had
on
somebody
that,
on Sandag or LAFCO, like I sit on the advisory committee
Right,
for
right.
for LAFCO,
yeah,
but you all don't.
yeah. No, but if one of us
But
got
if one of you
elected to it,
chose
then
to.
this would be our, okay,
Multi-jurisdictional body, yeah.
got it.
I'll mention that one again.
Okay.
Next slide. Okay, requirements to use traditional teleconferencing. We basically talked about it. Let's keep going. State of emergency. Okay, here's the new rule for state of emergency. Before, it had to be literally a state of emergency. Now you can have a local emergency, which is important. Because like, for example, I'll give you an example. In the city that I serve as city attorney for, we just had the Eaton fire.
Yeah.
And the Eaton fire, we declared an emergency before the state declared an emergency. And that was a problem for us because we wanted to meet remotely and we couldn't because the state hadn't declared the emergency yet. But our council members couldn't meet because it was like everyone had to be evacuated from the city. So anyway, the state did a good job. They addressed that issue. That's the big change there. Next slide. Just cause. All right. Slide 1 defines what emergency circumstances were as of, pre-January 1st, 2026, right? It's a physical or family medical emergency. Column 2 defines what just cause was pre-January 1st, 2026. Child caregiving need, contagious illness, travel while on district business. Now this new definition, you can see it incorporates physical and family medical emergency. So there's that. It incorporates the old definition for just cause. So we have child caregiving, contagious illness, travel while on district business. And we have 3 new ones that qualify as just cause. Immunocompromised family members. We have a council member whose daughter is immunocompromised, and every time like it's like flu season or someone's sick on the dais, like or they're not feeling well, he won't come to meetings.
Yeah.
Well, at least now he can take advantage of this because he doesn't want to get his daughter sick because she's immunocompromised. Military service. If you're serving and you're elected, they're making an exception for you. And this last one's really interesting. Physical or mental condition that is not subject to accommodation. So not subject to accommodation under like ADA, for example. An example of that, the most relevant one, which comes into play for another district, is pregnancy. Pregnancy is not a disability under the ADA.
Right.
But now, under this just cause exception, you can use your pregnancy to take meetings remotely. Yeah, next slide. Okay, there is a limit though on just cause. Unlike the traditional method, there is a limit on just cause. If you're a body like you guys that meet once a month, then your limit is 2 meetings per year. So you can't use that just cause exception more than 2 meetings a year, and I leave that to Raquel and Rachel and the respective board members to keep track of that.
It's a really large number.
Well, no, people want to do more.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
You don't count toward quorum. So if you're going to do that, participant does not count toward quorum. So we're going to need at least 3 physically present. And you need to disclose the reason that you're going to use this just cause exception, right? For the traditional method, you don't have to give a reason. I'm going to do it remotely. Like here's the address I'm going to do it from, and here's the and I'm going to make it open to the public, and you have to post it, whatever, all that stuff. For just cause, you have to state the reason. Next.
I just want to clarify, we have at times had board members who are traveling not on district business.
Does not qualify.
So nobody can be on vacation and Zoom in.
Correct. But I'll tell you where it could come up. Let's say you happen to go to a CSDA conference and you need to have a special meeting.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
Then you can.
Okay.
Let's skip this slide because it's not relevant to Fallbrook. Skip that again. Multi-jurisdiction, we talked about it. Skip that one.
I'm so glad we're so skippy.
I'm trying to get to the good stuff. Okay, so just side-by-side comparison, you see in that middle column is the existing all the existing exceptions that existed. We didn't have, so ADA is new, this health authority thing is new, eligible subsidiary body is new, and multi-jurisdictional body is new. What they got rid of is under SB 707 is emergency circumstance, but they really just merged it with just cause. Next slide. Okay, so that's part one. That was all the stuff that definitely does apply. Now this next set is going to be stuff that some does, some doesn't, and I'll try to point out the stuff that does. Next slide.
With the big picture in mind, this is to make sure the public has access.
Right.
This is the big idea behind this, and we have to remember, we didn't live through the corruption in California before Brown Act. It was horrible. You can go and look at it, filled with avarice, corruption, greed. And so this is something that is so essential to the democratic process if the people are going to have appropriate access. So as like turkey lurkey it might be, it's a good thing, in my opinion.
Have you ever seen my ethics presentation? Have I given it? I've never given it here, right?
No.
I give a history of, like, every time I go over a law, I give a history of it. The Brown Act is actually fascinating because the Brown Act came about because there was a newspaper man, a journalist who drafted a series of articles called Your Secret Government. And he detailed how in San Francisco, they're having all these secret meetings behind closed doors, and they come out into the public and they just do their votes, no discussion, because they've already had the discussion. So he publishes these articles. It was like a scandal. And it was the California League of Cities, their general counsel drafted the Brown Act, got State Senator Brown to sponsor it. And the intro to the Brown Act, they offered to that journalist. That journalist, the one that wrote the story, is the one that wrote the long intro to the Brown Act, which is, anyway, one day we'll look at it. It's interesting.
Nice.
It's cool.
Very cool.
Cool, very cool.
Okay, compensation of executives. This one applies to you. Before it was the case, you guys, have you heard of the city of Bell?
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, that's
Oh my
the
God,
that's
Bell.
the big scandal.
Uh,
Where that Mr. Rizzo, city manager, is making like $1 million a year.
Yes.
So after Bell, they changed the Brown Act to say that you can't have any kind of salaries or compensation or anything like that for your top level executives. That's Rachel, but that's all department heads too. That's not just Rachel. You can't, well, if you're gonna do it, you're gonna have to do it during a regular meeting. You can't do it during a special meeting. Because what's happening in Bell is, like, you know, they give 24-hour notice and they all just meet and they do it on an off meeting, and then no one will know about it because no one's really tracking special meetings. So the rule was, if you're gonna give people compensation, your top executives, you have to do it during a regular meeting. Now they've extended that to include your agency board members too. So now board members can't increase their compensation except during a regular meeting. So it can't happen during special. Next slide. So this one doesn't really apply. Let's get this one. This one does apply. Every board, I don't know why this was the case, but back in the day, I guess it said a local agency executive, a legislative body of a local agency may require that a copy of the Brown Act be given to its new board members. I mean, we can always, you can make everything, but now you have to. So anytime you have a new board member, you have to give them a copy of the Brown Act. Now, I don't know, in terms of the staff now, do you guys?
We already do.
We already did.
Okay,
So we do it in our new board member onboarding, they get it. We've made sure that was the case for a while. It's also on their board portal so that they can access it at any time.
cool. Yeah, I think like with other clients, we use like a kind of an orientation packet. I'm assuming you guys have something similar. Yeah, see, good. This legislator wasn't talking to you guys.
Nope.
Next slide. A social media exception currently, it existed. Post-COVID, they created a social media exception that basically said, you guys can engage, you electeds can engage with each other on social media. But here's the tricky thing. Normally, when you engage with each other as board members, 2 of you can talk, but a quorum of you can't talk because then it's a meeting and it's a Brown Act violation. The social media rule says 2 of you can't even talk to each other. Why? Because what they're assuming is that on social media, if you have 2 board members talking, the others can see it. So it's basically a meeting happening. So what they don't want is you guys interacting at all with each other on social media regarding district business.
Right.
Saying happy birthday to each other is fine, but
You can like every district event, every district post, you can like it all you want.
so long
encourage
as you
that.
post it, yeah.
Yeah, we post it, yes.
But if Chair, you post it, Director DeVito can't like it.
Don't like me.
You can't like hers, you can't share hers,
On
you can't
social
comment
media,
on
so
hers.
no problem.
Yeah. So this slide is basically saying that this has been extended indefinitely. It'll set to expire.
What qualifies as district business?
Super broad. Basically anything having to do with whatever the district does. Healthcare related for Fallbrook, Rainbow, Village.
But like if I were to take a picture at an event, but this is great. And they can't like it.
Is it a district event?
Yeah.
It's a district event, you can't like it.
And should we even post it?
You can post it, just remember, don't interact with each other.
So the idea would be, let's say you're at a district event and you take a picture, send it to us.
Yeah.
We will post it on the official page. Then y'all can love it as much as you want. It's a community photo.
Yeah.
It's not a
That'll work.
Cindy's post.
Yeah.
So can I even network of people, right?
She can post it to her network of people.
But if she happens to be in her network, she just can't like it,
Right.
right?
Can't interact with each other about district stuff.
So even if I not follow her, but just peek into her social media, like.
That's fine,
But
yeah.
as long as I don't like or put or comment anything that.
You
is
can be a
related
voyeur, but not a stalker.
Only
Yeah,
Probably not a clear.
Almost works, I love it.
that makes sense.
But the advice here would be just maybe not follow each other.
Or, no, I would say, I think my advice is don't interact with each other on social, on district related business. If you post a picture about your vacation and you like that, that's totally okay.
Yeah, okay.
But it has to be district business. So again, that's, you came to a district event and you post a picture of you and the kids like, we had a great time doing a check presentation. And then Cindy goes, oh my God, that's so great, you did that.
Yeah, and honestly, like, who's policing it? Really, nobody, but,
Until they get mad,
yeah,
and then they'll go and grab it all.
Somebody will.
yeah,
It's
right.
pretty horrendous when you get
That's
caught
true.
in that, yeah.
Okay.
Next slide.
Okay. Sorry, they take that. Next slide.
So I don't know if you knew this, but when there's a special meeting, you have to be provided written notice usually, but written notice usually comes via email. It says individual members may waive notice by telegram or in person. This isn't really super relevant. I just thought it was funny that telegram was still in the Brown Act. You could tell it was written in the 50s. Somehow they skipped fax. We just went from telegram to telephone or email. Skip fax as like a means of technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, skip ahead. Removal of disruptive members. So.
Roy,
Howard.
you guys.
Yeah.
Listen up.
No, they aren't members though. It's Howard we gotta worry about.
Has this ever happened at the district?
Yes.
Oh, has it?
It happened back in the sale of the hospital building.
Yeah.
We,
What,
Well,
a board member
Howard-
was disruptive?
Howard was here back in those days.
What was it, a board member who was disruptive? This is about a member here. A
No,
board
member of the public.
Public.
Oh, member of the public.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I thought we ought to be bringing in security in
Yeah.
those meetings.
It was contentious at the time. I
Well,
was in the audience.
I've only seen it happen once, honestly, it's super rare to be removing members because it's risky. Because if you remove members and you're wrong, and you get sued, you have to pay attorney's fees. So, we generally that's like the last resort. But the good thing is the Brown Act kind of define for us what disrupting means. And what it means now is engaging in behavior during a meeting of a legislative body that actually disrupts, disturbs, impedes, or renders infeasible the orderly conduct. It includes a failure to comply with the reasonable and lawful regulations adopted by the legislative body. Do we have a code of conduct here
Yes.
for public comment? Okay. And then engaging in behavior that constitutes use of force or threat of force. Right? It's like turning over a table or something. Next slide. Oh, sorry, can you go back?
Back?
Yeah, sorry. So the change here, it's not super clear from this slide, I guess it's in my notes, is that now we have, there it is, teleconferencing rules too for disruptive members. So it wasn't clear because a lot of people were getting Zoom bombed. People were saying all kinds of crazy stuff during public comment. And now we can cut people off. Yeah, good stuff. Next slide. Okay, now here's the part that definitely doesn't apply to you. But it's interesting, I thought it was worth checking it out. Next slide. So this only applies to the city council of a city with a population of 30,000 or more. The city council of a city located in a county with a population of 600,000 or more. So basically every city in San Diego County, right? And the board of directors of a special district that has an internet website and meets any of the following. Either you have 600,000 plus population or 200 plus FTEs or 1,000 FTEs. Like, I don't even know who these districts are.
Right.
These are massive, massive organizations. I'm assuming it's ones that run their own hospitals. Then you're getting 1,000 FTEs?
Major hospital, major medical centers, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be tough to meet that.
There is no water district that I'm aware of, no sanitary district, no cemetery district, no other districts that I'm aware of.
Mosquito district.
Yeah, none of them that meet this definition. maybe even a community services district, some kind of CSD that does like police and fire and like everything else. Maybe they would.
Yeah.
Anyway, super odd.
Well, it includes all of the counties. So even if you look at Palomar, which has more than 200, they're in a very small kind of area when you consider the county at large.
By the way, you know why this doesn't apply to you, right? CSDA. CSDA lobbyists lobbied to make sure that this doesn't apply to districts like you guys. So that's your CSD contribution. That'll work. Next slide. But honestly, look, you guys do all this stuff anyway. I'm going to show you. This new law is facilitating remote public access, translation, and web access. Keep going. Next slide. Members of the public must be able to attend and participate via. Oh, sorry. Can you go back?
Back up.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Keep going. Yeah. All right. Okay. Good. You must be able to participate via teleconference. You guys already do that. All your meetings are Zoom, I think, right? Every single meeting is on Zoom. Yeah. And you allow members of the public to participate via Zoom. You already do it. They create exceptions for like limited situations like emergencies and stuff like that, where you don't need to accommodate Zoom because we're just trying to deal with the emergency. Next slide. This next step doesn't apply to you. Go. Translation. This one's new. There was always a requirement under the Brown Act that if you have a public commenter and they don't speak English, you have to give them twice the allotted time so that you can facilitate the translation. So your time limit here is 3 minutes? 5 for public comment. So a public commenter, let's say speaks Spanish, doesn't speak any English, you give them 10 minutes to accommodate. That's always been the rule. We have a new rule now in translation. Next slide. So now it says, it uses kind of like vague language. The legislative body shall reasonably assist members of the public who wish to translate a public meeting into any language or wish to receive interpretation provided by another member. so long as the interpretation is not disrupting to the meeting. So you can't have loud translation happening in the back, right? That might be disruptive. So what can you do then? It says it's there on the bottom, arranging space for one or more interpreters at the meeting location. So maybe you set up a room in the back, where if you have a large community of people that show up that don't speak English, you have a special room with an interpreter, and an interpreter can interpret for them. For example, allowing extra time, like we talked about, to facilitate the interpretation. Ensuring participants may utilize their own personal equipment. Like let's say they have an app on their phone that translates for them. You know, allowing time for that translation to happen in their ear. Sorry, can you go back one second? You must publicize translation request instructions, which I think you guys already have. Yeah, you see, you guys already do all stuff. Next slide. All right, so, but you don't do some of this stuff. Some of this stuff gets kind of wilder. So agenda for each meeting shall be translated into all applicable languages. There's a definition for that. Actually, maybe Fallbrook meets it. I'm curious to know what you guys think because you know more about screen than I do. We'll get to that slide. The meeting webpage shall be translated to all applicable languages, and each translation shall be accessible through a prominent direct link on the homepage. Translation can be made using a digital translation service. This one's the crazy one in my mind. Agencies shall allow members of the public to post additional translations of the agenda in a physical location. Now, I don't have any issues with people posting their translations. What I do have an issue with is if we don't understand what they're translating, people can post some wild stuff and you would not know the difference. Like, you know, I speak Armenian. If I wrote some nonsense in Armenian and I posted it, who's going to tell me otherwise?
We're gonna use Google to check you.
Yeah, maybe
That's
now.
gonna work well.
Yeah, maybe you could do that. For purposes of this section, the agenda does not include the entire agenda packet. It's just these 2 pages, right? Keep going. Okay, applicable language means a language spoken by 20% or more of the applicable population if that population speaks English less than very well. Very well is the designation they make on the American Community Survey. Is that Fallbrook? I don't know. You guys would know better.
We would have Spanish is more than, I think it's around 40% as the primary language according to census.
Yeah. Oh,
Now,
okay.
it doesn't indicate whether there's also some level of English literacy,
Yeah.
but that's where the Spanish is considered the dominant language for about 40%.
Well, if they noted English less than very well on the American Community Survey, which is different, but done by the census, then it would apply. So let's say Fallbrook was a city, you would be subject to this requirement. Next slide. You skip ahead. It doesn't apply. All right, last part. Web access. Go on. The Brown Act requires that either the agenda or a prominent direct link to the agenda be posted on the agency's homepage, which you have. The agenda is posted in an integrated agenda management platform, which shall be posted in open format. Question for you, Rachel. When your agenda is posted, is it a searchable document? Do you know?
Through Adobe, yes.
Yes. Okay. Good. That's what
Right, we're still, yeah.
open format means. Yeah. Okay. Good. Keep going. Establish a system for electronically accepting and fulfilling requests for meeting agenda and agenda documents through email or integrated agenda management platform. Basically, if someone messages us saying, hey, I'd like to copy the agenda, we give it to them. I don't know why this isn't under the PRA, it's really a Public Records Act, but they're treating it as a Brown Act issue.
But hasn't it always been that you had to notify people who indicated that they wanted a copy, you would email it or make it available via mail? I know that when I first got here, we had someone that we mailed it to every time.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know this rule. If someone messages the district and says, I want a copy of all of your agendas, you have to honor that for a year. Are you
You're on
both?
our list.
They're both on that list.
Wow.
Email.
I've never met
Yeah.
someone that's on that
They're
list.
serious.
Yeah, they're both on that list.
Agendas to the public.
Yeah.
It's in our constant contact, which we use to email out. We have a specific, folder group that anyone who's ever requested
Yeah.
or at any time probably shown an interest, we're like, you're on that list. But if they've specifically requested, and I think, Tom, we did that, you've been on that list, I think, for a long time.
Yeah, years.
Years, yeah. And Roy, you were always on it because of so much work you did with the district, so.
Yeah. Well, technically, like, you only need to honor that request for a year, but I mean, there's a relationship here, obviously, so.
Right. We would like them to be involved.
Yeah, of course. Okay, keep going. Establish an accessible webpage. You guys already do that. Here's the, okay, yeah. You guys already do everything on this list. No? Okay, this one's also kind of new. In that I've never seen it happen before. Make reasonable efforts to invite groups that do not traditionally participate in public meetings by inviting media organizations, non-English speaking communities, good government organizations, civil rights or civic engagement organizations, and neighborhood or community groups. So this is like this is an affirmative obligation to go out and reach out to your community to tell them to come to your meetings.
Which we do.
There you go.
We
So-
do that through outreach.
We do that
Conversations.
through our social media channels. That's posted there. It's sent out through our constant contact to the general of this meeting is happening. We'd love you to come. Here's the link to the agenda. Directs them to the website, exactly to the page where the meeting agenda and packet can be found.
And Zoom.
So
Oh, and Zoom. Yeah, the Zoom link.
So basically you do every single requirement except for the translation requirement. That's the only thing you guys don't do, it sounds like. Next slide. I think that's it. That's it.
Question.
Very
So-
good.
Yeah, so teleconferencing, in summary, teleconferencing. Board member compensation should happen at regular meetings. And
And we, historically, we had for a long time, an online group that if we knew someone wanted translation services, we would have this translator on Zoom so that they could do simultaneous translation while Zoom was occurring.
did you pay for the
We
translation?
paid for it.
That Brown Act doesn't require you to pay for the translator. So
And-
that's you guys going out of your way.
We did it for probably 2-3 years at least. It was never utilized once. And it was really an awkward service to use. You'd have to say, okay, I'm gonna use you for 2 hours. If you were 2 hours and 1 minute, you had to pay for a second translator to come on. And we couldn't always guarantee how long the meeting was gonna occur.
Right.
And the service was wonky. So then we changed it when our team started having more availability for bilingual to put like, if you want this in Spanish, we can make this happen. Just let Raquel know. She can give you a Spanish language copy. We could arrange for the translator to be via Zoom. We could set you up with a screen in another room close by so that you could be visible. So we want to make that accommodation. It's just we just haven't had a lot of engagement at this point. But the goal is at some point, the entire community is going to want and be interested. So that the entire room
Will
could
be
be full.
full.
And then we start holding meetings at the wellness center because we need a bigger space.
Yeah. Okay, wow, thank you. Thank you for that. Colleagues, any questions or clarifications? That was great. Yeah, and now to our audience, right?
If you are having a Zoom meeting and the Zoom malfunctions and stops working, you're required to stop the meeting and discontinue it.
Yes, good question. I didn't get to that one. So if, it depends. If you're using the traditional method, remember, you don't have to offer the traditional method to members of the public. So it doesn't matter. If your Zoom meeting works, it doesn't work, all that matters is this meeting is happening. But if you're using the emergency one, or you're using the just cause one, then the board members, the state law says if the board members use it, the public gets to use it. And in those situations, when there's disruption in the feed, you have to stop the meeting and you have to address the disruption. And there is a point at which you can take a vote, like if you try to troubleshoot and it's not working out, you can take a vote with like, I think it's like 2/3 or 3/4 majority that says, We need to continue the meeting. We tried our best. But yes, to your question, best practices, even if it is a traditional method, I always say, if you've offered it to the public and you've noticed it as such, there's an expectation that they're going to be able to participate that way, and you should always pause it for them.
Are you thinking planning group?
Planning group.
Yeah, planning group, it can get rough. Yeah.
Our local planning group doesn't have their own resources. So they've had to use cobbled together stuff at another site. I think FPUD's system is better now, right? And usually Noel or somebody sitting in the room to,
Not yet.
not yet.
It's a Brown Act body though.
Yes.
The planning group.
Okay, I'll just tell one little tale, if I may. So there was when I was superintendent, there was a mom from Camp Pendleton who was very, very wanting to impact. So she was very involved with the school district, every board meeting, have a comment, want something done. Celeste. And she and I became best friends. And then they got transferred to Slidell, Louisiana. And she called me after about 4 months. She says, Jennifer, they don't even have Brown Act here.
Mhm.
They hold meetings at the drop of the hat. Nobody knows. They sell each other property and charge the school district for the property. She was Irish. She says, now I know why you got Brown Act. So that was a validation, somebody who experienced both good governance and what? So I'm glad we live in a state that's pretty sticky on this. So thank you so much for the update. Appreciate it.
Okay, we're going on to our consent items. Is there anybody who has a consent item they want pulled? Okay, could I have a motion to accept the consent items? So moved. Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor, any other comments? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Rachel, do you have something that you want to pull out of special interest for us?
Not really. You'll find in there, obviously, the reports from the leadership team. It's always good to look at upcoming programming. So I'll jump to Teresa's report that really has a couple of great things. We held our first Loteria night at the center and had 32 members of our Spanish-speaking component of our community come out, which is probably the strongest impact we've had with a group that hasn't always impacted. What's nice is that was a program concept that came to us from CSEA or ACHD.
Yeah. A
Teresa and I
conversation
were
that
in
was
that.
there. We were in
We were
that
in
one.
the, yeah.
And we had, through our partnership with Skinny Jeans, it was
Right.
kind of like a coming together.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And Rachel, if I may, for those who may not know, the game Loteria is very, very favored and loved in our community, our Spanish-speaking community. And I'm gonna say it's like bingo, but it's a card that we teach people things about the recreation center or about good nutrition, that you flip it into a form that is educative. And we thought, well, let's give it a try, and voila.
So it stands as part of our diabetes prevention program, which we're offering in Spanish this fall. So it's to review that. So you get kind of the review and highlights that the rest of the class gets, plus you're playing this game, and the cards and everything are reflective of lifestyle change.
So that one was super exciting to see that first foray be successful and well received. Teresa also was able to get a program through the American Heart Association where we will have, I don't think it's here yet, right? They just show
Next
up?
week, we're gonna get the supplies.
Next
We'll
week.
launch in February.
Which are basically, you can check out a blood pressure monitoring cuff to take home. And that's provided through American Heart Association, which was a great partnership and fits in with a lot of our lifestyle programming. So that's a fun new partnership. We're waiting to see how that really translates. That will also help us provide more CPR training, including a CPR training mannequin, which be fun to see what that does. We have some great new programming coming on around mindfulness and stress reduction, some additional nutrition classes that are coming up, We're working on an art therapy program with the Fallbrook School of Arts, continuing some hypertension, heart health. So a lot of really great programming that has been in the works all around our lifestyle programming. So again, I would encourage you to all view, because you can all view our social media and or the district's calendars to look at what these programs are so that you can be, again, our ambassador to the community that you're representing. So that's about it. I mean, I don't want to leave Judith out because she has been slaving over getting a lot of our systems updated. We made some changes to payroll so that they'd be a little more smooth. As you know, we changed our health insurance. We're now reviewing the district's retirement program so that it's more favorable to a more diverse population of employees and not just those of us who might be looking toward a retirement sometime
Sooner than later?
Yeah, we'll just say that. Not that we're planning to retire anytime soon, but there's a difference between.
Young over there.
I was gonna say, there's a difference between a 26-year-old and how they review their retirement and a 57-year-old looking at their retirement. It's a different conversation. So Judith is doing a ton of work on that. And then mine is the boring stuff, which you get to see at all the committees and such. So I encourage you to take a look at those just to stay updated. Again, we always try to work through committee. So if you have questions around facilities, check out the facility committee minutes, government public engagement, strategic planning, and then of course, finance, which is also on the agenda. So,
Which brings us right back to finance and good news. So if we could go to that
Okey-doke.
item. Mr. Treasurer, tell us all about it.
Well, the great news is in November, our revenue was $808,000 and some change. And our expenses were $278,721, giving us a net income of $560,545.
Are
So
people paying their
November,
taxes?
yeah, November, yeah, that's right. November's a good month, and I expect December will be too. Yeah. Just a few other things. People that were at our January 7th meeting were myself and Sally, Rachel, Judith, Teresa, and Susan, and Raquel. So we had a great meeting, lots of interesting things in addition to finance, which is always fun. We are under the planned budget for the entire fiscal year. Our investments are doing very well. We reviewed the check detail. We're always suspicious about checks and unfortunately couldn't find anything out of order.
that's not unfortunate.
Okay, troublemaker. Troublemaker.
Also known as it was unremarkable.
There you go.
We did also review the credit card statements, and there was a couple of unusual charges, and it had to do with escaping by a Mystic limousine. And that was after, what was it that you guys needed to escape from? What was the predicate?
So it was a district staff event, some team building efforts, and so we did an escape room together,
Okay.
which is why it sounds very weird. Yes.
And there was a Mystic limousine.
Which is a transportation company.
That's right. Other than that, because it was very unremarkable, I'd ask you if you have any questions.
I'm glad to see the team building going on
Yeah.
and the Escape the Room is a really great team building activity. Did you do the one in Oceanside?
No, we did it in Temecula.
Okay.
And so we split the team into two. One team had, both were challenging, but one team had a fear factor component to it. That was not me. Sorry, Raquel. And we had one team member who has much more sensitivity to that. So we got to be on her team, which was great. Raquel got to be on this scared team, and they all huddled quite well together. But it was very fun. I think the team worked well, both within and among their groups. It was a good time for all, and it's nice to know our teams work well. Yeah. Together.
And have a little relaxation.
Yeah. I
Not
mean,
more than once a year though, by God.
that's all we did. Once a year.
Like our teleconferencing, we only get one. Thank you for making sure that happens.
I do remember
Rachel.
what you were escaping from, and it is that weird marketing company that you've got.
Oh,
Say it again?
Brand assassins.
That's
Yes.
right. So they were assassinating the brand, then they took,
we
made
escaped.
an escape in
Through a
the
Mystic portal.
Mystic Limo.
Yeah, you see all of those things on the credit card, and if you don't know the context, it is gonna look a little
Weird.
bit unusual. But Brand Assassins is the company that we actually use to get the truck wrapped, and that we sometimes will buy
Oh,
signage and things for. That is the
Oh,
company
okay.
name. So,
Oh, how funny.
That's great.
yeah,
That's great.
That was
we
it.
like to see if you're on your toes.
Thank you, Finance Committee and Financial Team
All right,
for,
doing a great job.
keeping things on top and letting us know how we're doing. Board member comments?
Just approval.
Yeah. We need
Oh,
to
yes,
approve
like
it.
I said, I have a motion to approve the financials.
A motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Other conversation? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Great. Any other comments from the board members that you'd like to put in the mix? Happy New Year to all. And anything else, Rachel?
No, just a reminder, we are doing mental health first aid for adults this Saturday. It is from 9 to 5. If you haven't gone through a mental health first aid training, highly recommended. It's very helpful, well received. And let's face it, we all need a little mental health support. Right now.
Yes.
Again, we will be closed in observance of Martin Luther King Jr. Day on the 19th. So just know that we won't answer the phone.
Okay. Got it.
I mean, I might, because if it rings, it won't ring something. I won't, because it won't roll.
It
Right.
won't ring,
See,
'cause I
Judith, make
set it
sure
up.
that we're not
Rolling.
answering.
Got
phones.
holiday hours.
All right, hearing no other business, I am adjourning the meeting at 7:04.
Thank you.
No,
7:07.
7:07.
I'm the middle, where's the middle? Where's the middle of that? Yeah.
Yeah.
The one